Most exotics are really bad, but if you pair some exotic weapons with specific armor pieces, they can create a unique effect, like infinite restoration, high burst damage with a sniper, and a one-man fire team. So in this video, I'll go over the 10 best exotic combos in the final shape. I'm Marshix, and you can deal a lot of damage with Still Hunt. This is a sniper rifle that shoots golden gun shots. After 6 precision hits, you can hold reload to use its super. This is identical to the golden gun super. You get 3 really powerful shots, but if you pair this with Celestial Nighthawk, these 3 shots will be turned into 1 extra powerful shot. This means it not only deals more damage, but all that damage happens instantly, and it means you can get right back to charging up the next shot. This is an extremely powerful combo in just about every activity, and it's almost a requirement for the new raid against the Witness. You're able to pop your golden gun super and deal 500,000 damage with 1 shot, then pop your golden gun sniper for another 500,000, and then keep DPSing until you pop it again and again. It's absolutely crazy just how much damage this puts out. If you want to check it out for yourself, the full build will be in the description along with all the other builds in this video. They say dog is a man's best friend, but man's second best friend is an Arc Soul. And this combo lets you have 4 elemental buddies. Getaway Artist gives you an enhanced Arc Soul each time you consume your Arc Grenade. And with the Bleak Watcher aspect, consuming your grenade will still give you an Arc Soul, and it will also poop out a stasis turret that slows enemies. So now you have a stasis and an arc buddy, and you can get a third buddy by using No Time to Explain. This will give you a miniature time portal that shoots kinetic damage after you get a few headshots or shoot a slowed target. So your stasis turret will help you keep this kinetic buddy alive and healthy. But now Arc Soul feels like the third wheel, so we need to add in Hellion to give us Solar Mortar each time you activate your class ability. So now that's 4 summons that all help shoot alongside you. Solar, Arc, Stasis, and Kinetic. That's almost the size of a full fire team. Just consume your grenade, Phoenix Dive, then shoot No Time to Explain, and you'll have an entire army. This next combo gives you tons of damage with rockets. But first, this video is sponsored by HelloFresh. HelloFresh offers delicious food that's easy to make. Order from a variety of meals, then in less than a week, they'll deliver a box of fresh, quality ingredients straight to your doorstep. No need to go to the store, no need to even leave your house. How convenient. Each meal comes with its own easy to follow, step-by-step recipe to walk you through the entire process of making your food. Even a YouTuber can do it. You choose the exact meals you want, and with over 50 recipes to choose from every week, you'll always be able to find something you like. And if you need help deciding, they will recommend you meals based on your preferences. And if you sign up right now, you'll get a huge deal. Click the link in the description or use my code here on screen to get 10 free meals plus free appetizers for life. That's 1 appetizer item per box while your subscription's active, and if you're in the US, outside the US, the local discount will apply. No more staring blankly at the fridge, wondering what to make for dinner. Try America's #1 meal kit today and treat yourself to a great meal. Thank you to HelloFresh for sponsoring this video. Hazardous propulsion is very painful and very messy. But in Destiny, it's an exotic chess piece that shoots out rockets each time you use your class ability. Precision hits and final blows will store up rockets in the chess piece. Then, whenever you use your class ability, it will fire those rockets straight forward and give you a damage buff to all your other rockets. So just play like normal, use your class ability, and your Apex Predator now does 35% more damage. That's more than a well of Radiance. Now, we could pair this with a rocket, but that makes sense. Instead, we're pairing it with Grand Overture. This is a machine gun, but for some reason, this still gets the buff from Hazardous. Each hit with Grand Overture charges up a missile, stacking up to 20 times. Then you can hold reload and then blow your load. This is already a lot of burst damage, and you get 35% more damage if you simply use your class ability before you fire. You'll be nuking bosses with this combo, and it takes very little setup. Just get hits with Grand Overture to load missiles, get kills to load your chess pieces rockets, then blow your load. You can turn invisible after every kill. Buried Bloodline gives you Devour on any subclass after getting just a handful of kills. And if you have its Catalyst, it will also weaken every enemy you hit. This means they take 15% more damage from all sources, and if you pair it with a stylish Executioner aspect on Hunter, you turn invisible too. This is already powerful, but we can make it even better. Throw on Gerfalcon's Hauberk, and each time you come out of invisibility, you gain volatile rounds. So you just play the game as normal, and you'll turn invisible after every kill, weaken enemies with every hit, and make them volatile on every hit. I've shown similar builds in the past, but this one is actually unique. You usually need some sort of outside source of invisibility to start the invisibility loop, but with Buried Bloodline and Stylish Executioner, it just happens on its own. The Matador chest piece is a new exotic that suspends enemies with Arcane Needle melees. Targets damaged by Arcane Needle create a suspending explosion on death, and against larger targets, you can use all your melees to trigger it early. Your Arcane Needles also have anti-barrier now, and defeating suspended targets grants melee energy. So we're obviously building around suspend effects, and the best exotic for that is Wishkeeper. This is a strand bow that builds up charges. You get charges from headshots and final blows, and once you have 6 charges, you can create a trap on the ground. Anything that touches this trap will become suspended, and thanks to the chest piece, whenever you kill suspended targets, you get melee energy back. So between these two exotics, you'll be suspending most enemies, and you'll always be gaining melee energy back to suspend more enemies and continue the cycle. Or you could just say screw it and suspend things with only Wishkeeper, and then use your melees for Lightning Surge to go in and jolt everything that's suspended. This is actually a lot better than I expected. You can get infinite restoration using Ergo Sum. This is the only sword that takes special ammo, which means we can run a normal heavy weapon for DPS, and also use Stronghold for survivability. Stronghold makes it so you can block indefinitely with swords, and each time you block damage, you build up stacks of Perfect Guard. Then whenever you hit an enemy with your sword, it will consume your stacks and give you restoration times 2. And the more stacks you have, the longer the duration. Now, because Ergo Sum is a special weapon, you'll almost always have ammo for it. So you can keep this restoration going basically all the time. And you aren't really sacrificing much to use it, since you can still run a good heavy weapon. But it gets better because you can use Ember of Empyrean to extend the duration of restoration by getting solar kills. Now, how are we getting these solar kills? Ergo Sum is a void weapon. Well, actually, this exotic has random rolls, meaning it can roll with a different frame, different exotic perks like Telesto bolts or Wolfpack rounds, and it can even have different elements, including void, arc, and solar. So yes, if you manage to get a solar Ergo Sum, you can block with this weapon to get the best restoration in the game, then just get kills with it to keep the restoration going forever. And if you accidentally let it run out, just block again to start it back up. Final Warning is a strand sidearm that marks enemies, then shoots tracking bullets at its marked targets. Hitting a marked target with a full burst will unravel them, and unraveled enemies will turn into a tangle whenever they die. So now we're going to pair this with Swarmers to create Threadlings whenever you destroy a tangle, and your Threadlings will also unravel everything they hit. So you'll be unraveling so many enemies, creating tangles as often as possible, and spawning a bunch of Threadlings. Bungie decided to nerf Banner of War Titans by giving them an absolutely busted exotic called Wishful Ignorance. This will give you an additional melee charge, up to 4 melees at once. It also increases the damage of your back-to-back melees, and each time you heal a player with your Banner of War circle, you get melee energy back. In other words, Banner of War is now better in every way. So we're basically using the old Synthoceps build, but with this new exotic. That means we're pairing it with a 1-2 punch shotgun to get even more melee damage each time we shoot it. And for the exotic weapon, we have Tractor Cannon to weaken enemies and make them take 30% more damage from all sources, including our 1-2 punch melees. So just get 1 melee kill to activate Banner of War, get any other kills to build up stacks, shoot Tractor Cannon into a boss to weaken it, then shotgun punch, shotgun punch, shotgun punch, shotgun punch, and if you have teammates in your circle, you most likely got a couple melees back in that short amount of time, so you can just keep punching, assuming the boss isn't already dead. Would you believe me if I said Tommy's matchbook is kinda overpowered with prismatic? Well, allow me to change your mind. Tommy's matchbook catches you on fire while you shoot it, but while this is happening, you deal scorch damage to everything you hit. Scorch is considered a debuff, which means it triggers certain aspects and fragments, most notably Stylish Executioner, which will turn you invisible after every Scorch kill, which is all of them with Tommy's, and it also triggers Gunpowder Gamble. Defeating targets with solar abilities or solar weapons will charge up an improvised solar explosive. This is essentially a big grenade that deals a lot of damage. So you can shoot enemies to go invisible with Tommy's, throw this grenade into a group of enemies, blow it up to go invisible again, and then continue the cycle. Now that's the core of the build, but it gets even better if you throw in Graviton Forfeit. This exotic helmet will keep you invisible for longer, give you faster melee regen while you're invisible, and give you extra recovery, which you need since you're catching yourself on fire. I never would have thought of pairing Graviton Forfeit with Tommy's matchbook, but somehow Prismatic made this a thing, and it's actually pretty good. Remember that cutscene where the Traveler busted on the Black Fleet? Well, 9 months later, Microcosm was born. This is a heavy trace rifle that shoots kinetic damage. Kills with this weapon grant super energy, and if you pop your super before shooting this, it'll deal more damage for a short time. And because this is a heavy weapon, it deals a lot more damage than any other trace rifle in the game, which is why we're pairing it with Cenotaph Mask. This helmet can generate heavy ammo for your teammates, but that's not why we're using it, because it will also reload your trace rifles over time, even as you're firing it. This makes it so you can shoot for much longer before needing to reload. Normally, to use all its reserves, you'll have to reload 3 times, but with Cenotaph, you only have to reload once to get all its reserves off. That saves you a lot of time during DPS phases, and yes, it actually deals a surprising amount of damage. Over 1.7 million damage to the Grasp of Avarice Ogre, which is about a third of his health bar. Not bad, especially since I recorded this solo. It could get even better with teammates giving other buffs and debuffs, and it could absolutely get the 1 phase. I'm not saying it's better than Still Hunt Nighthawks or Izanagi rocket swapping, but for a simple point and click weapon, it's definitely up there. This next combo gives you infinite radiant, but you have to click on this video to see how. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm Marshix, and I'll see you next time.